The Tom Bihn Synik is a 30-liter travel backpack that is the next iteration of the Tom Bihn Synapse. This is the 30-liter version, and Tom Bihn also has a 22-liter version. In this video, we will be focused on the 30. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, where we use our expertise and real-world experience to provide practical resources and honest opinions, guiding you towards smarter travel. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Let's jump right into the Synik 30, a bag that I've been testing for the past 3 weeks in Detroit, Michigan, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's jump in. The name Synik comes from a bit of a joke over at Tom Bihn. So there's a guy over there named Nick. He's the COO, a designer and programmer. And there's a bit of a joke that his name has to be in every product that he produces. He created a wallet in 2018 called the Minimalist Wallet. And of course it was called the Nick's Minimalist Wallet. So you take the Synapse and then you take the name Nick, marry those two together and you come up with the Synik. Overall, the Synik looks very similar to the Synapse. So similar, in fact, that Tom Bihn has actually moved the Tom Bihn logo down to the bottom right. So on other previous iterations of this bag, it's in the top middle right here. And that may be a little bit unnerving for fans of Tom Bihn. We personally like the look of it down there. It's a little bit less obvious, but your mileage may vary, may take some getting used to as well, since it is a new position for the logo. We polled our Instagram audience to see what they thought of the aesthetic of this bag. If you want to be a part of that for future polls, be sure to head over and follow at Pack Hacker. We also add those results to individual review pages, so be on the lookout for those. Tom Bihn is decently underground, making all of their products right here in the USA. I feel like if you've heard of Tom Bihn or you're a Tom Bihn fan or you have one of the bags, you are really into bags. And some of the times when I'm at the airport traveling around, I see somebody wearing a Tom Bihn bag. I like to ask them about it. Never once have I ever talked to anybody that's not really excited about the bag that they have. So Tom Bihn has a really great community and a really great support system of followers that really dig their bags. From a travel perspective, the overall look of this bag is a little bit round and kind of an oval shape. Now, when you think of optimized carry-on travel, a lot of the times you'll think of more rectangular bags, the bags that are sitting up behind me. And this creates a very ergonomic carry and a great design, but you sacrifice a little bit of space going on in the bag. You can't really just jam this thing out with a bunch of different packing cubes, similar to some of those bags on the wall behind me. That being said, we are pleasantly surprised with how much the Synik 30 holds. A lot of these pockets on the outside, the looks can kind of be deceiving based on where the zippers are placed and the size of the zippers. A lot of the times you get these pockets open and there's a lot more room inside than you'd expect, and the bag kind of shifts and forms based on the amount of gear on the inside. The main fabric on our version of this bag is a 525D ballistic nylon, and the interior is a 200D halcyon. We love the interior liner because of its durability. So the rip stop going on here, if you do get a small rip in here, those lines will prevent an additional larger rip from happening. Depending on the color that you choose for the interior, the visibility is probably pretty high when contrasted with darker gear. So it makes everything really easy to see what's going on inside. And lastly, it is a little bit softer, a little bit more kind of rubbery to the touch compared to a swishier ripstop nylon of around 200 denier. So we like that as well. Wrapping up the rest of the notable materials on this bag, these shoulder straps have an EV50 half-inch padding going on. They're super comfortable, dense and thick. Duraflex, Nexus, and Woojin hardware is used throughout on this bag, all solid hardware brands. And lastly, big beefy YKK AquaGuard zippers for additional weather protection. If you want more of the nitty-gritty on the specific technical details of this bag, be sure to click on the link in the description below, head over to our product page. Everything is listed for you there. Kicking it off with the harness system in the back, the EV50 half-inch foam padding here. One of the most comfortable shoulder straps that I have used to date, especially for a bag of this size. Now, some would say that this is a little bit of an overkill for a pack of this size, but if you are carrying a bunch of heavy camera gear and tech gear, you really can't go wrong. And who's going to complain about more comfort? There are no load lifters at the top of this bag, so a lot of the times that can kind of pull the pack a little bit closer to your upper back and prevent sag, but it's not really needed due to the size and shape of this bag. It's a little bit more ergonomic You don't really need those load lifters at the top of the bag. Moving down the straps, we have a properly attached sternum strap that is semi-permanently anchored. We love that this is securely fastened. A lot of other bags that we review kind of do this halfway, and it can be easy to lose a sternum strap. We've lost a ton of them when testing bags with sternum straps that aren't quite attached as well as this one. The shoulder straps themselves are pretty standard and easy to adjust. Again, the same note here, we wish there were elastic keepers to help manage this excess strap a little bit more and clean it up a little bit. At the bottom of the bag, there are 2 loop attachment points on the inside of the straps that can be used for either a waist belt or a hip belt. Tom Bihn has a ton of options over there on the site. And again, I really love the amount of customizability that you can do with a lot of their bags. It seems like no 2 Syniks will be the same. The padding on the back is quite comfortable. You have air mesh at the top here, and then a lower denier nylon at the bottom. Next up, we have a frame sheet between the back panel and the main part of the bag that just sticks in this little slot here. Big improvement on the Synapse, which used to have that frame sheet on the inside. The frame sheet adds a bit of structure and helps the bag stand up on its own. I'm a little bit taller at 6'2" with a 19¼ inch torso. For me, I did notice the bottom of the frame sheet kind of getting stuck between my belt and my pants, but that only happened just a couple times. So just something to note when you do have that frame sheet in there, that extra structure, and you're a taller person. Since this bag isn't super long, it may get caught in your pants. Next up in the exterior, this top handle, which is great and a really great improvement and iteration compared to the other previous bags. First, Tom Bihn just started with a nylon strap up here, pretty standard, basically the same material as you see on these straps. Then on the next iteration, they took that strap material, folded it in half, and sewed it to add a little bit of padding. And now there seems to be about a 1/4 inch thick padding here on the sides, sandwiched in between 2 pieces of ballistic nylon. This is a big improvement on the handle overall, way better than the previous iterations of the pack. And again, this just goes to show that Tom Bihn is constantly iterating, improving, and just making their packs better. And then lastly, at the bottom of the bag, there is an additional attachment point for a Guardian light that they sell, great for bikers. You could also get away with attaching additional accessories as well. Another bonus of this loop at the bottom here is that it makes a great handle to pull the bag in and out from under an airplane seat. Generally, with the wedge shape of this bag, it's way easier to put this under the airplane seat with this side going forward first. Kicking it off with the quick access pocket on the top, there's about 8 inches of vertical space here. Pretty much the perfect size for a quick grab pocket. Great if you're just going through the airport, need to take everything out of your pockets, quickly stuff it inside of here. Also, there's an O-ring at the top, and Tom Bihn has hidden a lot of these throughout the pack to attach additional accessories, such as their smaller organizer pouches, things of that nature. We found it really nice to attach to the O-rings here and kind of let those organizer pouches hang out of the bag while we're using them in day-to-day use. There are a total of 11 O-rings going on across the pack. There is 1 in the water bottle pocket, 1 in the small middle pocket, 1 in the left pocket, 1 in the right pocket, 3 in the bottom pocket, and 4 in the main compartment. One thing about the zippers here is that they are YKK AquaGuard, and on this small quick grab pocket, specifically it's a number 8 YKK AquaGuard zipper. And with that AquaGuard protection, it really helps to keep moisture out, but it can make the zipper a little bit more stiff, especially while breaking in the pack initially. For me personally, I was at the airport, kind of running through the airport, holding onto the bag with one hand, and it is a little bit hard to zip and unzip this pocket quickly. It's much better to set the bag down, grab onto the fabric on the sides, and zip and unzip the bag. Just to illustrate how hard the zipper is to zip up compared to some other zippers, we'll compare it to the Mystery Ranch Zoid cell we got last week in the mail. That thing has a super smooth zip, one of the smoothest that we've seen. This will definitely break in with time, and it's not really that big of a con, more of a small note. Directly behind the quick access pocket, we have a centered, mesh-lined water bottle pocket going on here. We like that the water bottle pocket is centered to evenly distribute the weight of a larger water bottle. Not a lot of bags do this. The stretchy mesh on the interior will also accommodate larger bottles, or make these side pockets a little bit larger if you want to kind of stretch them in. We found this to be a great place to store the clear windowed 3D organizer pouch from Tom Bihn. Using that as a toiletry bag here, Ideal place for it too, since you can take it out easily at airport security if that's needed. Moving on to the two side pockets here, they're really easy to access. If you swing the bag around the front of your body, you can kind of open those up and get a great look inside while you're still halfway wearing the bag. Both of these side pockets are a lot larger than meets the eye as well. So the interior of this pocket is actually kind of this big, even though the zipper seems a lot smaller. So once you get into the interior of the pocket, there's a lot more room than you'd expect. The right pocket features a single liner pocket with a wide open space. We've been placing keys and sunglasses and other small accessories inside of this pocket. The left-hand side offers the same liner pocket, but with 3 divisions in it for things like pens, pencils, styluses, and travel sporks. Each one of these pockets features an O-ring as well, so on the right-hand side, it's really great for keys with a keychain, and the left-hand side, we have one of Tom Bihn's small clear organizer window pouches as well. Moving on to the bottom pocket, again, some really great and generous space going on here. We've sort of dedicated this to being the tech pocket on the bag. A MacBook Pro charger will stuff inside of this thing quite easily. If you don't want to manage the wires, that's totally fine. We have the Sidewinder going on, which makes things a lot more manageable. But if you just want to stuff, cords in here, that's totally cool too. And then there are 3 O-rings going onto the bottom here. Great to include those smaller pouches with tech gear. You can kind of separate, organize everything out, and sort of pull them out and hang them outside of the bag when you need access to them. We've even found that the Roost laptop stand fits in here horizontally, although it does make the bag shape a little bit weird, but that's just an indicator as to how much space is actually inside of this pocket compared to the smaller zipper. So there's a ton of room outside of the width of that zipper. And saving the best compartment for last, the thing that is so special about the Synik, the main clamshell compartment. If you're a fan of the Synapse, you'll know that that was a horseshoe zip. Kind of made it a little bit hard to see exactly what's going on inside of the bag. The Synik opens up fully clamshell style. There's a couple of great things going on inside of the main compartment as well. First, there are O-rings and nylon loops at the top on the front flap of the compartment. There's a padded bottom on the exterior right where the 2 zippers end. There are removable compression straps with a kind of push button buckle that's really useful on the interior of the pack. And lastly, there are 2 O-rings near the top compartment of the straps as well. Moving on to the laptop compartment, there is a big improvement on the Synik compared to the Synapse as well. On the Synapse, there was this laptop cache concept, and it was a little bit better in thinking compared to in practice. With this laptop compartment, they've gone a little bit more integrated. It's accessible from the interior, so there's a zipper towards the top that's easily accessible. Really great if you're pulling the bag from under your seat, especially if you're in a middle seat and you're kind of space constrained. Pull the bag up, fold the top part of this fabric down a little bit, and then slide the laptop out of the top. Lastly, you can use the dedicated side access zipper to get your laptop in and out as well. A 15-inch MacBook Pro goes in and out of here very smoothly. The entire pocket is lined with this slightly padded mesh material, and we think this is a much better solve than the laptop cache that we've seen in the past. At the time of this review, I've personally been testing the Tom Bihn Synik 30 for the last 3 weeks in Detroit, Michigan and Minneapolis, Minnesota, including 2 domestic flights. The main compartment was filled out with a suit folded 2 times in a garment bag at the bottom for a wedding. The top compression strap was attached and tightened to keep everything nice and secure. Below that, I used a Tom Bihn TriStar packing cube filled with other clothing needed for the trip. This is a great packing cube for bags like the Synapse and the Synik because it is a little bit thinner than other packing cubes. And once you get inside of that main compartment, thinner is typically better so you can hold more items inside. Then the bottom compression strap is used to hold in that TriStar packing cube and suit together. A keyboard and a laptop stand were put into the front mesh stretch pocket on the interior, which I still think is a little bit awkward to use. And there's still plenty of room inside of the main compartment, especially towards the top where the packing cube ends. No issues with durability so far. Time will tell if anything does happen. We don't expect to have too many issues with the Synik, considering we didn't really have any issues with the Synapse and the 2 bags are quite similar. Plus, all of the Tom Bihn bags are handmade in the USA. Tom Bihn takes a lot of pride in their craft and they really make quality items. Not to mention having a great warranty to back it up if anything does go wrong that they honor with people as well. So to wrap this thing up with some pros and cons, starting with the pros, there is a bunch of considered organization going on throughout the pack. The ergonomic, intuitive design just feels really great to use. And there are some awesome options for customization and additional accessories. On to some of the cons. The rounder size isn't optimal for complete space optimization for carry-on travel. The interior stretch divider pocket is a bit cumbersome. And lastly, a small nitpick, but we wish Tom Bihn included elastic keepers to help manage the excess straps on the bag. Tom Bihn has taken the Synapse, an already great bag, and improved it even more than they have in previous iterations to create the Synik. Although we have a couple of small nitpicks with the bag, the pros greatly outweigh the cons. If you're the type of person that likes bags with a lot of organization, options for a bunch of customization, and don't need a giant rectangle for completely optimal carry-on travel, the Tom Bihn Synik 30 is an excellent choice. So there you have it, our review on the Tom Bihn Synik 30. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on this video. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.